What's up, y'all? I'm trying to make like dramatic experiences on the videotaping. Meaning, like how I pretended that the lights were off, and then I come and turned them on and made an entrance. Wasn't that cool? So we're going to have. While I'm talking to y'all for the Sunday chat. Oh, the heater turned off. I'm gonna have Sheboygan. What's funny is up in Michigan, Sheboygan and Petoskey, I make Italian. So it's Sheboygan, Petoskey. That's the Italian fingers. Sheboygan, Petoskey. This Blood and Honey. So I've got a couple of really favorite beers. One, of course, is Reasonably Corrupt from Shreveport, my hometown. That is amazing. It's a black lager. The other one is Revolver Brewing. Their Blood and Honey, made with Texas stuff. It's Dallas area. And then, holy crap, man, this stuff and Sheboygan is some good beer. So cheers, y'all. And I brought one of my favorite cigars out here. So how I'm filming these, I want to start having these loaded where they actually launch on Sunday instead of Monday. And then do my regular videos, I think, on Thursdays. So I'm going to get back on I think what I've been doing on the Sunday ones is kind of showing folks like, oh, I've been doing this and doing that. So the action part of this video is at the end of the video. So I didn't detail them, but I washed the all black Dodge Ram, the heavy hauler, and then knocked a lot of dirt off of the SureTrack gooseneck. So what had happened, I went to go pick up that grain trailer, and when I did, most of the roads there were freaking all just dirt and mud and slush, and it was icy, and it sucked. So, man, I don't care if you're from here or not. Driving a gooseneck with electric brakes and a 6-speed 3/4 ton with an empty load, a gooseneck, it's sketchy. So I took it nice and slow, got there safe and sound. Guy had a tractor, helped me load it up. I'll attach that video in the description, and it was pretty cool. So real quick, I'm going to unplug the mic. The first part of my talk is going to be show and tell. I could have stopped the video and got over here, but we're going to do live action. So I love the Champion logo. We did this to kind of honor it. My buddy Eagle did this, and I love the Hooker one, but we did like a Bomber's Garage one for that. But I've got a Champion spark plug blaster, this cabinet, which is cool, and in said cabinet, I have some vintage Champion spark plugs. New old stock box, and I just think they're freaking cool. They look good in there. The other logo that I like, well, I can't get that close. Oh, and back down there, that Champion. The other logo I like is like the AC stuff. So I've got some other AC spark plugs, some other vintage boxes up here, like the drill bit one, and then a ton of ignition parts, stuff like that. But I love those old signs. The AC stuff is really freaking cool. This area here is kind of all the vintage stuff. Then you go over here. Well, there's more of it, but it's condensed there. This little AC flexible hose cabinet is freaking cool, and I'm using it for my Zerk fittings. Let me move the tractor, but I've got Zerk fittings in there for the Kubota. This week I moved the finish mower up there. Need to change out some grease fittings, and then I'm still in the process of doing the paint. I did a full shop tour and then one of my office and everything, but y'all know I like the old stuff. It's freaking cool. That Technic sign isn't that old, but it's It's pretty cool. So we got a cool spot in here to hang out. And then eventually, which I've showed this for everything, that's a little test area. So we're gonna do like a 4-foot wainscot of the industrial enamel gray and then white all the way up. And then go all the way around with that. I might do a little bit different where the oxyacetylene is. I'm going to do the same thing there, but it'll be red 4-foot and then up to the white. So back to, and let me plug in the old Shure mic again. Hopefully this transition. Back to the Champion stuff. Man, I love that logo. I'll find a picture of it on my phone. And I know I say that a lot. I say a lot of times that, oh, I'm going to add a picture and then I forget. Or I can't find the picture. So maybe I didn't look hard enough. I know I have the picture. But downtown, there is a store where they have that Champion logo painted on a brick, the brick wall. And I freaking love it. I think it's so cool. So, again with the so's. Love the Champion logo. I think it's awesome. And then I liked the old AC logo, which is cool. Oh, I paid $10 for this. I think I got this in Jefferson, Texas, but I'm not sure. Jefferson, Texas, if you're ever there, they have a huge, huge antique market there. It's on a river. We got a cool museum. Everything's within walking distance. They got some cool places to eat. Oh, and they have a little restaurant in there where you can go and get, I hope it's still there, you could go in and get Cokes of different flavors, which I thought that's what pop was up here. I thought that fountain pop was where you went in and got flavored pop, and it's just freaking Coke, and they call it the wrong name. People can argue that. Coke came from Georgia, and they invented Coke. So everything is Coke. So it's about the same time, Eagle and my buddy Stoney had messaged me. I was unaware that Champion, which I got to take this in. This is a cool little, I forgot that this was in this tin. Cool little match box. Let me slide this bad boy out. Who knew it was this hard? I could have done that beforehand. America's favorite Champion spark plugs. And not only that, they're dependable. And this one is from Hackett Auto Supply in Woodward, Oklahoma, 510 Main. And I know these are old because the phone number is just 1300. But man, is that not, I mean, it's just a cool freaking logo. This way helps. So freaking cool. I like that. So Champion, you know, was a leader. The guy was actually from France, and he was a bicycle racer. Came to the United States and made Champion spark plugs. Guess he was an inventor as well. Now, Wikipedia or Google this or whatever. Sold Champion, and then he founded AC. And AC is his initials, Albert Champion. I thought that was very interesting. I had no idea. Now AC is like a General Motors brand. And still, I love both of the logos. I'm stoked that I have some of the older stuff in here. I continue to search for it. Unfortunately, both of those has gotten like real expensive. Expensive is in more than I want to pay for them. Kind of like, I mean, the Gulf sign, we got a fair deal from Matt. I'd say a more than fair deal. So that gas pump, the grill that's up there, and the Gulf sign. I'm having to squint my eyes to see. These transition glasses are still jacking me up. he gave us a more than fair deal on all of those, and I'm stoked that we got those. And that would be Matt from Iron Trap Garage. Check him out. He has a huge YouTube channel, and he deals with almost all pre-war and I would say mostly all Ford stuff that's pre-war. Some really amazing stuff. He has some amazing rides. So anyway, I still look for those, but a lot of that stuff have just gotten ridiculously priced. But every once in a while, you will find one at a deal. Like I found that hose kit for $20 the other day, and then picked up some other stuff. I think y'all saw that, the Mac toolbox and a couple other things. So Champion, or AC, was in freaking Flint, right down the road from where we're at, like an hour away. And so I'm searching, learning more about Albert Champion. And in downtown Flint, they have an Albert Champion bronze statue. So it is on my list to roll down to Flint and get a picture with the Albert Champion bronze statue and to see it. I think that's pretty cool. I sometimes forget the amount of auto history that's around in the Michigan area. I'm still, very new to living in Michigan. Everything I'm about is about, the South, Louisiana history, stuff like that. We still have French law there. We have parishes, not counties. And being there for so long has put me in that mindset. I lived in, South Texas in the Rio Grande Valley for a couple of years, lived in Jax Beach for 3.5 years, traveled the Marine Corps all over, lived in California. But basically a majority of my life has been, the South is my home, where it's hot and warm and you're not wearing this in February. I'm going to go down there and look at the statue and get a picture and do some selfies and do some video. I'm stoked about that. I like cool stuff. As you can tell, I've got a lot of cool stuff in here. A lot of the cool stuff, all of that stuff I use to store stuff. Now, some of that I know is display, but like the AC hose kit, I'm putting my Zerk fittings in it. So I'll probably do like clevis pins, my smaller ones, and Zerk fittings in there. And earlier today, when I was washing the vehicles, I brought the Ryobi Honda-powered power washer out, and I noticed 2 of the bolts on the motor mount had come loose. So I come in here, that big, large display, I have a bunch of bolts and nuts in there. Went in there, grabbed 2 1/4-inch bolts, grabbed a ratchet, tightened it down, we were put back into service. And that's why I think it's very important for you to have some stock. And I can't afford to have it. I'd love to have a huge bolt bin with standard and metric and all of that stuff, but it costs a lot. What doesn't cost a lot is every time you go to a hardware store, go to Tractor Supply, is to grab a handful of bolts you need and throw them in there and then start building your stuff. And there's some of the things I think you use a lot, like I always keep quarter, 5/16, 3/8, kind of the standard sizes that you use. And then I kind of expand on links in those. And I know I'm also one of those guys, when I have old bolts and stuff, I'll put them in places, but it saves me so much for having this extra stuff from running to hardware stores, running back into town, especially when we live, out in the country on a farm. And having a back stock of stuff. So I just started getting like a gallon of Super Clean. When I buy oil filters, I try to buy 2 of them and stock up. I bought, extra stuff for the Kubota. I got more than what I would need for the Zerk fittings because I've power washed, greased what I could, and I'm replacing Zerk fittings and the gear oil on that belly mower because we're about to put this baby back on the lawn. So yes, stock up on stuff. I know folks sometimes, you don't have a lot of room, but even simple stuff, like if you need one roll of, zip ties is another thing. Instead of just buying one package of zip ties, get the big bundle that has a plethora of different sizes and have those zip ties. I like that. Another thing is I always say, like, oh, I'm a fancy man. I like fancy stuff. To me, Milwaukee is fancy. I know, like, Snap-on is a next tier, and there'll be people that say, oh, Milwaukee is red Ryobi, whatever. And if you're, my cousin's a huge DeWalt person. I've used his DeWalt stuff. He's a general contractor, and some of that DeWalt stuff, he has put it to use and uses it every day and has got years of service out of it. So when I say fancy, I actually mean quality. And I don't mind spending money on quality stuff. So I'm not a fan of some of the inexpensive stuff. Like, I will buy some things, and not knocking Harbor Freight, because the quality of their stuff has gotten extremely better over the years. Some of the things I bought there is I needed a ball joint fork. Couldn't afford to buy, I'd love to have a Snap-on one, but I don't use it a lot. And I bought one to take the steering knuckle off of the Kubota to get to one of those bolts I had to drill and tap. Steering wheel puller. Picked that up at Harbor Freight. So I will go there to buy certain things, and I know some of their tools are pretty good. But like I said before, when I clean these, I grew up with old Craftsman. I love the handles on these. I love how they fit. I love how they polished up. So I don't mind spending money for quality on certain things. On some stuff to save money, yes, I get that. One thing, well, there's two things. I'm like, buy fancy, don't try to save money. Toilet paper, I want some fancy Charmin that is soft, and trash bags. There is nothing worse than having cheap trash bags and you're toting that trash out or packing it and it busts open. That wears me out. I cannot stand that. So I do buy fancy toilet paper and fancy trash bags. That, to me, is some good stuff to have. Maintenance, too. There's some things even today, I forgot about looking over on the Ryobi, because that thing does vibrate a lot. You got that little motor. I mean, the Honda motors are great, but dragging it all around on the two wheels, moving it around, everything. I didn't realize those bolts were out of there. But looking over your equipment, checking the oil, topping them off with gas, changing the oil, wiping stuff down, like I have my little tin with a ballistol that I wipe stuff off. And the other day, I actually took that rag. Well, I first took one of the blue little shop paper towels, wiped off all the all of my socket set, the Milwaukee one. What had happened is I got under Lindsay's all black Dodge Ram, the Rebel, to change this muffler bracket, the tailpipe bracket, which had snapped. This cheap crap. Shame on you, Fiat. Shame on you. Fix it again, Tony, for using pot metal crap there where there's all that vibration. Anyway, so I took everything, wiped it down with dust, and then took that ballistol rag and wiped it all down just to keep stuff rust-free. And there is going to be a day soon where I go through here, like on the milling machine, the drill press here, all of those items that are bare metal, wipe them down. I've also used on some of those, like this 3-in-1 oil, that table saw. Is that the table saw? Yes, the table saw that's back there. I'm going to get some Scotch-Brite or some steel wool, shine that baby up. It's got some surface rust. I hadn't cleaned it since I purchased it. Get a new blade for it, check the belt, all that stuff, because I do need to rip some boards to add some more perches for the chickens. So rip some 2x with that. We're doing the maintenance on it. And I haven't done this. I've looked in that toolbox, but I want to do a quick little video of what all's in that toolbox. But today, while I was looking, I'm going to replace this plastic on here with one of these Craftsman little simple toolboxes. But look at this. Do you see this old Craftsman here? Now for comparison, let's do these. You can just see how bad that one is. I'm going to put it back, but I'm going to do a video specifically of me cleaning and polishing that. And I know there's probably other, I know there's buffing compounds especially for plastic. And I know that I could set up a buffing wheel and use that compound. I think over here I've got, let's see, I bought this little Roby kit. Again, you know what? I kind of badmouth Roby, but then I picked this up. But the rouge for these, you can do chrome, stainless, brass, and plastic. And this is one you just put on your drill bit. It has the 3 little rouges. And I know you can do the plastic. I've actually, after I'd posted that video, unbeknownst to me, I saw a guy that was polishing. It wasn't a Craftsman, but it was one similar to this, that he had the plastic polish on a buffing wheel and was polishing it. He was more of a maker and had picked up these screwdrivers that he liked, much like I like the Craftsman, and was polishing them. I'm like, cool. But I would like to set up here, set my camera up, and actually hand polish that with these blue rags and then that Chemical Guys plastic polish and see how that one turns out. No cutaways, no anything. Chat with y'all and see how by hand that will turn out. Now I know y'all saw, if you watched that other video, some of these were a little bit chalky. That one turned out nice. Same thing, this one's like a little bit aged and all, but it's still polished up. Very nice from what it was. Even the same with this one. Has that, yellowish. So I'm going to clean that one up and see how it does. So tool maintenance, fancy quality, and man, how about old Albert Champion? That is pretty crazy that AC and Champion is the same dude. When I was in high school, I worked for my dad construction, and then I also worked part-time at Lawrence Sporting Goods, which, man, what a great place to work at. Lawrence had, I think originally the first location was downtown. It was almost like a pawn shop. Then the location I worked at was Shreve City. They had one on Hearn Avenue. They had one in Bossier City for a while. South Park Mall out on that part of Shreve. I mean, I know this is all means nothing to people not from Louisiana, but there were them and there was Otto's. But Lawrence was so cool. They had the, fishing lures, guns, reloading, archery. They even had an athletic side where we sold, shoes, screen printing. I mean, it was a legitimate sporting goods store. I feel very blessed that I was able to work there. They closed. But it kind of, as much as I like, Bass Pro Shops is cool, Cabela's is cool, all of that, but we lost so many of these small shops to just these huge, Amazon, think of how many mom and pop businesses they have destroyed. And yes, there are some things that I have used Amazon for, like my Clappy Boy, because you can't really go to a Clappy Boy store. But I just think about those stores, and I like to go and visit a few of the local hardware stores around here that are still cool like that. So we've got the Bolton beer. It's not far from here. I just try to support the local places. Also, I like to save money too. So there are some times where I'm like, man, I do need to get this from Amazon, but my Milwaukee stuff I buy local. Just want to support them. So I look back at like, Lawrence Sporting Goods and working there. Oh, what reminded me of Lawrence Sporting Goods is they also sell water skis and wakeboards. That's where I bought bought my first wakeboard from, probably the rest of my wakeboards. But they had O'Brien skis and HO skis. And I don't know which way it went. I think it was O'Brien first, and then he got bought out, and then he formed HO, which was Herb O'Brien. And a lot of people didn't know that. Much like my new buddy, Champion, aka AC, aka Albert Champion. So that's pretty freaking cool. All right, I've rambled enough. I appreciate y'all. If you watch this long, the rest of the video is me doing some power washing using my Just Right 2.5 gallon gas can. Man, I love that thing. I picked it up for like $10. Cleaned it out. It was serviceable. Everything works good on it. Put some gas in it because I knew I was going to be doing this power washing. And then I still ended up spilling some gas. My fault. Oh, that's another thing with your, with maintenance and stuff or whatever is, man, when you do empty your gas cans, fuel cans, like I got 2 5s of kerosene for the jet heater in here, a supplemental heat when I need to get it, warm quickly. Just, clean out those old gas cans. And with washing the trucks is we get so much salt and chemicals on the road up here. Oh, yeah, I need to add that picture of the crusty truck. Note to self. I'm going to write that down real quick. Crusty truck. Crusty Dodge. Maintenance on your vehicles. Mud, stuff like that. Wash them off. Just, man, take care of your stuff. And it'll take care of you. Especially now, as expensive as things are, you have to do the maintenance on stuff to make it last. You got to do that. So when you buy new stuff, buy quality stuff, aka fancy, spend the money, but take care of it. I've never been one to really abuse tools. There are a few hammers, pry bars, stuff like that or whatever. But buy good stuff and take care of it. All right. I appreciate y'all watching. Bye, y'all.